Hello, YouTube universe. It's been a really long time since I posted much of anything, when so much has been going on in the world and everything, and yeah. Anyway, I've been in the process for a really long time of moving into my new place. I moved out of the horribly hot, stuffy attic into a nice, cool basement, and they weren't done with the basement originally, but I was just tired of being in that attic, so I was living in the living room for a while. I moved in with a new roommate, still living with one of the same old ones, and we're looking for a fourth roommate now, so it's kind of fun, exciting stuff. I just thought that since tomorrow's the 6th episode of Miracle Day, Torchwood Miracle Day, that I should kind of, at least just kind of say like my midway points. I know I'm not doing every episode, and I don't plan on doing every episode because Torchwood's not quite the same, doesn't have the same following as Doctor Who anyway. So, anyway, I thought it was really good so far. The exception of episode 2, I thought episode 2 was kind of just... I felt like episode 2 was something that Davies does. If he has more than, say, 5 episodes in a series of something, he tends to have just one episode that is just tons of character development and tons of plot development that he could probably get out of the way in 15-20 minutes of a normal episode, but instead he kind of draws it out along a full episode. That's, it's one of the reasons why Torchwood hasn't really caught on, because it's more obvious in Torchwood. It always has been. My dad and I were talking today, and we used examples like the cannibal episode, or the episode where all the people from the 1940s end up in today, and they're just these episodes that Russell T tends to put in to a season that just really kind of drag out, and they don't really have much meaning. And that was kind of episode 2 for Miracle Day. I was kind of hoping that at a halfway point, midway through the series, we would have more answers as to what was going on. Why is this a Torchwood issue? Et cetera, et cetera. But we don't really seem to have that yet, and that's kind of slightly annoying, but at the same time, I'm sure it's one of those things, like, I gotta kind of have faith in the writers. I have faith in Russell T Davies, because he's given us a lot of really great episodes of Doctor Who, given us some great episodes of Torchwood in the past. I mean, this is the same guy who wrote Children of Earth, and that was just, phenomenal. So, gotta kind of have faith that he's going to do what's right for the show. Another big complaint that I've been hearing a lot is that it's just kind of an American action sci-fi show that you could kind of place anybody in it, any characters in it, and it would just be a regular show. And they just happen to use Captain Jack and Gwen in it, and that doesn't really have that Torchwood feel. And I, in a way, I kind of beg to differ, because I feel like they've kept the same intensity and the same kind of feel of Children of Earth, and they've just kind of transferred it over to America, and they've made it shinier, as John Barrowman said. They made it shinier because they've got a bigger budget, they've got better effects, they're actually working with Stars, who does all these really pretty shows, and so I kind of feel like we have to accept the fact that the way the show looks, it's not going to be as nitty gritty, it's going to be more cleaned up, it's going to be more pretty. I think we kind of have to accept that fact. And other than that, I mean, the writing, I think, it doesn't have as many like little quippy points in it, but as many like little jabs. And I think part of that is the character chemistry at the moment. They're not as close. Even Jack and Gwen, even though they've known each other for so long, they don't have that comfort with each other. Because of Jack leaving and then randomly coming back, they don't have that comfort that they did before, where they can just, jab at each other like they used to, and say all these, kind of flirt with each other. So I think that's kind of one of the reasons. I think there is some chemistry that's kind of starting between Jack and Rex. Rex kind of has this slight homophobia, thinks Jack is just gay. We all know that he just still fuck anything with a postal code. But he just seems to think Jack is gay, and so Jack's kind of playing on that fear, and that's kind of getting to be a little funny. My dad actually really did not like the line where he said, "Oh, he's my boyfriend," when they were carrying Rex off in the ambulance. But I thought that was great, just because of knowing relationship dynamic between Rex and Jack. Like, it was just, to me, it was really funny. But yeah, and I think the way they ended 5 was just that death. I don't want to give anything away for anybody who hasn't watched it. I mean, even for Torchwood standards, they killed Yonto off, they killed Owen off, they killed Tosh off, and those were all really sad. But this death especially was just kind of like, it was hard to see why he did it. I mean, I'm sure there's some perspective in it, but that it's hard to see why, and it's just very dramatic and very intense and very, for Torchwood standards, even I was sitting there going, what just happened? Just kind of shows how much of a kind of sick bastard that Russell T Davies is, but at the same time, genius. So yeah, it's I think it's coming along. I think it's I'm hoping that we get some more answers in tomorrow's episode. I feel, like I said, I'm kind of worried just from the preview that I saw. It's going to be more of a filler episode, kind of going after the guy from last week, and I'm a little afraid of that. I feel like there's going to be a little bit more unnecessary, gruesome action and stuff, but I do respect the opinions that it has become Americanized, and I can see that. But in my mind, Torchwood has always kind of been like Russell T Davies' effort at making an American-style show in England, and that's one of the reasons why I don't think he did well in England, but I don't think it had the same type of intellectual following, even as Doctor Who. It's because it has always kind of been Russell T Davies' way to Americanize the Doctor Who franchise, which I'm fine with. I respect it. Yes, I like Torchwood, but I don't like it as much as I like Doctor Who. Probably never will like it as much as I like Doctor Who. So, I think all we can really do is kind of watch. We got 5 more episodes left. Kind of see how it turns out, because it's got me intrigued, and it's a very kind of gripping idealism, and this is an idea that is kind of the opposite of every other sci-fi that's ever been made. Every other sci-fi is everybody's going to die, and this is everybody can't die, and it's just, intellectually it's just a really good thriller. It's a really kind of great concept that has never really been played with before in this style, and I think it's really kind of cool to see it, and I'm happy with the fact that it's a form of Torchwood, and it's going to be interesting to see what they do at the end of it, if they're going to be able to keep the franchise going, or if this is just kind of going to, or if this is just going to be kind of, the end of Torchwood. But I mean, then again, we thought Children of Earth was going to be the end of Torchwood too, and obviously it's continued, and people just want to see more. And for those of you who are missing kind of the traditional Torchwood feel, I'd say go onto the BBC iPlayer website, go onto the radio page, and listen to some of the BBC radio dramas with Yonto, Gwyn, and Jack, because those are really kind of cool little one-off things, and they're kind of interesting, and I love the BBC radio dramas, so, it's kind of cool to listen to. Anyway, Doctor Who starts again in, 3 weeks. That's really exciting. I'll be reviewing every episode like I was before, and, yeah, school starts soon. Excited for that. Doing a lot of crazy things right now, working, 2 jobs, but I'm still trying to, get in there, be creative. Looking at recording a few more covers that I've been working on, and I've actually been working on them this time, so they'll probably be a little bit better than the ones I just kind of learned. I'm like, hey, I'm going to play this on YouTube, which is always this horrible, horrible idea. So yeah, that's kind of what's going on, and I really, really hope that this series turns out well, and I'm not disappointed. And I hope that Doctor Who turns out well, and I'm not disappointed, and all that other fun stuff. Anyway, I'll talk to you later.